Welcome back to the shop. I'm Kirk Anderson. In this week's video, I'll be converting an electric smoker into a powder coating oven. Now, the oven I chose to do this with is the Pit Boss. Now, there's a couple of reasons why I chose this oven. Now, the first reason is it has a glass door, and I want to be able to video what's going on inside the oven. Now, a smoker like this is usually a little bit more expensive than a smoker without a glass door, but I purchased this off-season, and it was actually cheaper than a smoker with a solid door. Now, one downfall with having the glass door is now you can't insulate the door. Now, once I unboxed everything and put some things together and took some things apart so I'd be able to get the insulation in there, this is what it looked like. Now, the insulation that I'm using is a 1-inch ceramic fiber blanket. Now, this is what the insulation looks like. Now, when you're dealing with any type of insulation, it's a good idea to wear gloves. And if you're really going to handle it a lot, actually wear a respirator. Now, of course, I had to cut this down, and my tool of choice in doing that is just some regular kitchen shears. There are many ways that you could cut it. You could use a utility knife. There's special tools that are designed just to cut insulation like this. Now, I did apply some spray adhesive to the inside before I put the insulation in there. And that was really just to temporarily hold it in place until I got the smoker back together. Or I should say, powder coating oven. Now, putting the insulation in is pretty straightforward. As I said, I got 1-inch insulation, and it was actually a little bit too thick. Half an inch was not quite thick enough. 1 inch is too... If they had sold 3/4 of an inch insulation, that's what I would have purchased. Now, one thing with the smoker is it has wheels on the rear legs so you can tilt it to move it around. Now, I don't want to have to tilt it to move it around. I want to be able to stand straight up. So I'm making a platform for it to sit on that'll have casters on it. And I'm just using 1/2-inch plywood to do this. Now, if you've seen some of my other videos, you might have seen me use these exact casters before. They're extremely light-duty casters. But the smoker or oven doesn't weigh much, so I'll be able to move it around the shop with no problem. Now, there's the inside of the oven put back together. Well, there really was no voids in the bottom to put the insulation, so I put the insulation just on the inside. Now, I purchased a regular oven thermometer, and as you can see, the oven thermometer and the smoker thermometer do not agree. I'm more inclined to go with the oven thermometer instead of the built-in thermometer. And I will do some more tests to make sure, but if that's the case, it will hold 400 plus degrees with no problem. Well, that's it for this build, or actually retrofit. And if you watched my last video when I built the powder coating booth, I said that I am expanding in what I'm doing in the shop to include some restoration. And that's what this is for. Well, I hope you got something out of this video. And if you did, give it a like. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And as always, all you woodworkers out there, just get out there and cut some wood. And maybe do some powder coating.